Assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdeed ji, ayanu goeiemorgen, ishpata.
Pakhair agele, ni hao, chune shumme, washmale, ohaya gunzaimes, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, halay shuma chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho gracias, swabi ab bhalli kare aaya, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning on a very sunny, bright morning over here on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, in Islamabad. With me, I happen to have the very amazing, the very talented, I think one way or the other, she's one of those people who have a very soft heart, a kind heart, and a very kind tongue as well, and that's what you require. So, ladies and gentlemen, with me, I have the honor to introduce Ms. Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Hasan Khan. Once again, 1, 2, 3, Jummah Mubarak. Hello, Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing obviously very great. Thank you so much for the kind words. And I feel like it's the kindness that you're associating with me, it is the kindness that is contagious from you, of
My
course.
God.
I know.
My God.
Well, it's definitely always a pleasure to be working with you. So thank you for saying that.
Jazakallah, and we certainly are definitely looking forward to kind of keep on working with you as well, just the way you mentioned as well. And ladies and gentlemen, to be very honest, I think that's how I want to start my day, you know, by complimenting myself. Because just 2 days ago, I was in a very different thought process.
Why?
You know, so there was this thing which I never wanted to do, but I eventually ended up doing it.
Okay.
And then towards the next day or the next morning, I was like, Ya Allah Mia, why can't I have this self-control over myself? And why do I keep on doing that? And please, Allah Mia, forgive me for that, you know, if there was something wrong in it. And so, you know, after 1 day's time, I was like, Ya Allah is so Rahim. So, you know, obviously He's going to forgive you. Please make sure that you never commit it again. So for everybody who might be going through a difficult time or a difficult phase of life, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to ask from Allah Almighty only, nobody else, and inshallah things will be sorted. Because I've seen them sorting for myself as well, and that's exactly what I feel for other people. And please make sure that you remember other people in your prayers, because what's going to happen is that even if you're going to pray for other people, and that's what Allah tells you, that, you know, whatever you're going to start to share with other people, Allah will eventually give you that as well. So please make sure that you have firm iman, Kamil Iman on that as well, and firm belief. So please make sure to pray for all of us, for our entire team, for all of our guests who have joined us today as well.
Yes, definitely so. And you know, it's so interesting. If someone actually requests you to pray for them, it's sort of an, I don't know if amanat is the right word. It's your duty. Yes.
Obligation.
It's your farz then to actually really pray for them as well. So why don't we just share the happiness and prayers around, right?
Exactly, and not just that. And, you know, since it's Friday, so I'm going to kind of be in that mood as well. So imagine, you know, what do you think is the perfect prayer for you to ask? You know, so there will be people who will ask for money, and, you know, there's no doubt you can ask from Allah Almighty for anything. There will be people who are going to ask for Allah Mia, you know, give me all of these material, you know, whatever we can acquire in this life. But one of the best prayers which you can always ask from Allah Almighty is, Allah Mia, mere naseeb bahut achhe karna. Please make sure that you bless me with good naseeb. I don't know, what do you call naseeb in English? I think that's an interesting question.
Oh, very interesting. What is it? It's my naseeb. It's my fate.
Fate. Ask for a better fate, ladies and gentlemen. And once you start to ask for a better fate, obviously things will get better. My producer gave an advice. He said it's belief. It's fate, okay? But we can always have a debate on that. But today, let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is going to be the 12th of this month, and we will witness the second test match in between Pakistan versus Australia in National Stadium, Karachi. I think that'll be wonderful. People are waiting to witness that historic match once again. The first match, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't really very wonderful. It didn't come across the way it needed to be, but we do have some shots which we wanted to share with you where the teams are actually making sure that they're going to practice harder, even though that the first test match was similar to the practice match as well. And ICC has actually given us one demerit point because of the fact that the pitch was literally dead in the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, or in the first test in between Pakistan versus Australia. There are new set of rules which have come in as well. For example, you know, if you're at the striker end and you have played a good shot and it was a catch, you know, so there's not going to be any exchange. So the striker end will actually have a new batter rather than the other batter running towards the striker end as well. So there's a new rule which has been included. But we want to wish the best of luck to our green boys as well, the green team. Make sure that you're going to show no mercy against Australia.
Well, definitely. We're looking forward to all the matches yet to come, and then we're really still happy and celebrating the fact that it has returned to Pakistan cricket in reality, and then, of course, specifically this team as well. But in terms of sports, Pakistan is paying a lot of attention to promoting all sorts of sports, and we're really, really happy about it, you know. Just yesterday, you mentioning how e-gaming is now becoming nationalized, if that is the right word.
Yes,
as well.
that is coming up.
And I'm really happy for that, definitely. But Tape Ball Festival is also happening in Pakistan, and 7 different players from 3 different countries have arrived here. We have a small report. Let's take a look at it.
I want to play that game as well.
Let's do it.
The biggest tape ball festival in Pakistan is all set to begin. The first match will be played on 21st March at Ayub Cricket Ground, Rawalpindi. Foreign players will also participate in the tournament. Participating are 4 overseas teams including Dubai Whales, UK Rams, Pak Qatar Drikes and Ishal Falcons. A total of 34 matches will be played in MCL. The opening ceremony will be held at Ayub Cricket Ground, Rawalpindi, while the final of the event will be played on 29th March. Chairman MCL Sardar Saifullah Abbasi announced the schedule. Former Test cricketer and CEO MCL Mohammad Khalil and Marketing Director Ali Nawaz were also present on the occasion. Chairman MCL Sardar Saifullah Abbasi said that a large number of Pakistani cricket fans love watching tape ball cricket. Former Test cricketer and CEO MCL Mohammad Khalil said that Season 3 will be an event full of entertainment.
Gentlemen, please make sure that you tune into television screens as well, because we might be sharing all of the insights from this as well. But other than that, this one important thing which I wanted to talk about today.
Yes, and well, you were mentioning it before the show as well, and it was actually a really interesting take. So why don't you share it with
I
the
would
audience?
want you to kind of elaborate on this as well. You know, so ladies and gentlemen, you know, half of the time what we do is that we kind of think that whenever we're getting married, at least over here within our country, and you know, that's the context I'm going to keep over here today. So what happens is that we kind of think that the other person who's going to come into your marriage will be the person who will be looking after you. Where I think that's the core reason why relationships fail, and it's because of the fact that you are actually supposed to look after yourself in the first place, so that in order you can look after the other person who's going to spend the rest of your life or their life with you. So please make sure that each and every individual who has this expectancy that my partner will be looking after me every single day, that's not right. That's why relationships fail. So please make sure, if you want your relationship to succeed, please make sure that you look after yourself so that you can look after the other person who's come into your life.
Yes, I agree with that, and it's also sort of a fact, not just here, I feel like in the entire world, there's a very common notion where we associate happiness with a person, maybe with your spouse, maybe with your partner, whatsoever. Associating happiness with a person only means that that person staying or going away is actually, you know, proportional to your happiness as well. Why are you giving your happiness to someone else's hand? I mean, or why are you giving them the ability to actually make you happy or not happy? I think the happiness of one person lies with themselves, of course, which is why we need to sort of strengthen ourselves, you know, our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our own happiness, our idea of who we are. As long as that is strengthened, I think we will be able to love even better our partners. But how do we do that, Shazad?
All right, so, you know, in order to do that, you know, I've always been advocating that everybody needs to exercise, they need to work out, because it helps you in many spheres. So imagine that people, you know, God forbid, who've got diabetes, people, you know, suffer from cholesterol, people suffer from heart issues as well, or cardiac issues for that reason. So imagine just by, you know, giving or dedicating 1 hour of your life on daily basis, or probably 5 days a week, you can actually make sure that, you know, all of these things are going to stay away from you. And imagine, ladies and gentlemen, so you can either go swimming, riding, play polo, do whatever you want to do, or go gym, or go running, or, you know, go run a marathon, whatever you feel like doing. Please make sure that you do that in order to make sure that you're going to be there for your kids, that you're not going to get ill. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that the amount of money and energy you are going to spend for a gym or for any other activity which you want to do, that's your choice. To be very honest, imagine that you will be saving the cost of hospital later on as well.
Yeah.
So, imagine, so just by spending 12,000 or 15,000 or 20,000 rupees a month on yourself in the first place will actually save hundreds and thousands of rupees, God forbid, if you end up in a hospital just because you weren't exercising, you went to beast, and there was these similar issues, may it be cholesterol, may it be cardiac issues, may it be hypertension. There's so many issues within our region because we love to eat curry.
I absolutely love salan.
And that too full of tail.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen,
Tarkari.
we're not being we're not sort of being exclusive in a way that we don't realize different things work for different people. But for us, physical workout matters.
True.
We feel better when we actually do some physical activity as well.
Yeah.
So which is why we are saying that it can actually make you happy. It can actually sort of
And it
promote
does
your
make
mood
you
as well.
happy.
Yes, it does.
When you see the results right in front of the mirror under the light, you're like, okay, my shoulders look big, my biceps look big. You do feel great. And then at times you actually have to kind of counsel yourself that, yeah, I'm looking into the mirror too much, and me being honest, ladies and gentlemen, this happens quite a lot. A lot of trainers in my gym, that's what they're doing most of the time. They're just looking into the mirrors. And you really need to get their attention. Hey, bhai, can you spot me? So please make sure that you're not in the habit of looking into the mirror every single time. But we do have a small package to share with you. And that too, today, ladies and gentlemen, the first half is just going to be about fitness. And Ramadan is coming, so we are so habitual of eating pakoras, samosas, kachoris.
So I don't think we'll stop that, but we need to learn how to burn it off.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the package first.
Physical activity and exercise is important for everyone. People of all ages need regular physical activity. Physical activity promotes good health. There are numerous health advantages to physical fitness. Staying active is a crucial part of maintaining good health and wellness. Exercise can make you feel happier. It helps with weight loss. Exercise is good for your muscles and bones. It increases your energy levels. Exercise reduces your risk of chronic disease. Physical fitness helps to improve skin health. Exercise can help your brain health and memory. It makes person relax and improves sleep quality. Exercise can also reduce pain. Now let's take a look how much time one should spend for physical fitness and exercise. For adults of all ages, at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise like brisk walking or 75 minutes of rigorous exercise like running every week. It's fine to break up exercise into smaller sessions as long as each one lasts at least 10 minutes. For children, at least 60 minutes of physical activity a day, most of it should be devoted to aerobic exercise. Children should do vigorous exercise and strength training such as push-ups or gymnastics on at least 3 days every week. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that adults over 65 who do not have limiting medical conditions get a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity each week. Alternatively, they can also do at least 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic physical exercise during the week or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activity. They also recommend weight-bearing activity at least 2 days per week, such as strength training for all muscle groups.
All right, yeah, so it totally depends on you whether you want to go for a very vigorous workout, ladies and gentlemen, or moderate, and it totally depends on your age and your mood as well. Some days when I haven't slept enough, I would go for moderate workouts, but when I feel in top of my energy, man, I would always make sure that I'm going to go and blast the gym. Whatever energy I have, I'm going to share it with all of those rods and weights out there. But we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by fitness experts over here in the studios. And to be very honest, they represent a brand, ladies and gentlemen, which is huge. In the past COVID years as well, they've made sure that they're going to shut down for a single day. I think that the name of the gym is Active. That's Ayat Active. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Ms. Munazza Ijaz over here, who happens to be a fitness expert. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, Shazad. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. And I have Shiza with me.
Yeah,
you can ask her as
I'm
well.
okay as well.
Okay, guys, thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you alongside Ms. Munazza. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by another fitness expert. He happens to be Mr. Armagan Khalid. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum. Subha Bakhair. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Pakistan, and walaikum salam, you guys.
Thank you very much for joining us.
How are you doing today?
It's wonderful to have you over here, and to be very honest, I really need to give you credit because you made sure that you're going to shift your gym outdoors in order so that people can come and work out and feel great as well, because in times of COVID, everybody was under distress, and that's something which everybody wanted to get rid of. But today, I wanted to pick up on a very different topic where obviously fitness is important, and we have reached out to millions of people and they do understand. But let's kind of contribute towards this topic when we talk about how anxiety and depression can be helped if you start to work out. Because the first ever element of anxiety and depression is that you seriously do not feel like doing anything at all.
Yes, that's very true, Shahzad. To me, what is fitness? It's not about building muscles.
Okay?
It's not about like lifting heavy weights. To me, fitness is like you can do your daily activities in a very proper way, in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And to me, fitness is the positivity of your mental health.
Yep.
It's staying positive in a depression, in anxiety, or any kind of situations. What I see is in the last 2 years, when we were hit by the COVID, the stress level, the stress management, it was very important.
True.
Because it will boost your immunity, and it's all about your immunity.
True.
How you will stay fit is you have to boost your immunity,
Right.
and to boost your immunity, you have to work out, you have to exercise, you have to physically exert yourself. Like if I talk about the medical sciences, what medical sciences say, what doctors say, when you work out, when you do physical exercise, your body release hormones, endorphins, that will suppress the stress in your mind, and that will make your mood happy.
Exactly, and you know,
Yes.
in addition to that, this is me being honest, ladies and gentlemen. Just yesterday when I was at the gym, so you obviously have your headphones and you listen to the
Yes.
music you like. So right after, I'm going to give my muscle a good pump, I start to dance a little bit as well. And everybody's just looking at me like this, and I'm like, hey, you know what, whatever.
I feel good.
There's an overrush of endorphins in my brain, and I'm going to enjoy myself, and it's wonderful. But coming towards you, Armagan, now what we seriously want to talk about is that, there's so many variations when we talk about workouts. Obviously, there's weightlifting, then there's CrossFit, then there's yoga, aerobics, and, so many other fields which, when you start to look into, it's really difficult for you to decide whether what's going to suit me. And that's the question. So everybody has a very different body type, and not everybody will be good with aerobics, not everybody is going to maintain that physique with swimming. So what is your recommendation on different body types? What kind of workouts should we opt for, and with different age categories?
Thank you so much for having us on your show, and I take it as an opportunity to share my knowledge. But I've been in this industry for past 14 years.
Mashallah.
So
You look only 14.
I am quite old. So that's the role of the fitness in your daily life. Your question, people are different. Like just our thumb impressions are, everyone is different.
True.
So everyone fitness needs and requirements are totally different.
Yeah.
So when we experts take your data like age, height, weight, and your medical history, then we define and assess your goal.
Okay.
So according to your goal and your medical history, so everyone is different, as I said. We design a customized diet and exercise plan for you guys to achieve your fitness goals.
Okay.
So somebody needs weight training. There are few goals only achieved by weight training.
True.
But there should be a balanced workout that should be comprised of cardio and weight training and HIIT, high intensity interval training.
High intensity interval training, ladies and gentlemen, is a little difficult, for people who are newbies. Please make sure that you seriously do not get into HIIT, just all of a sudden when you've joined the gym. But at this very point, I think it is utmost important for me to ask you that whenever we start with workouts, what happens is that we seriously do not have any guidance in the first place. And, people over here previously didn't have this, we never had this culture that we're going to hire a trainer. And for me, because I've been going to the gym for the last 10-15 years, and I always make sure to maintain, because we have to be on TV, even I never hired a trainer. But the sole reason for me to hire the trainer was so that my angles are right and that I do not end up injuring myself again, because previously there was an issue. Now, number one, I want you to speak about that. Number two, what happens is that, we come from backgrounds where it is at times very difficult for us to dedicate our nutritionist to ourselves, or that, when I go back home and I'll be like, Ammi, I can only have steak. So, Ammi will be like, Putra, jo pakya no kha le. Fir bane ka nahi khana to chal bahar to ja. Something like that. So now if I'm going to request my mother, because she has to cook for, even though she doesn't cook now, alhamdulillah, but she has to cook for 5-6 people, and it's really difficult. So how do we manage that whatever resources we have, we get fitter within those resources?
First of all, exercise is a preventive measure, prevention is better than cure.
True.
So we design workouts according to the financial status of a person.
Person, okay.
So as I said, prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
So you guys or everyone can afford, and there is no choice left when you go to the doctor and you have to pay for the medicines and the heavy bills.
True.
So you better start the prevention by spending and investing in yourself. It's better than to spend more on doctors.
On doctors,
Yeah.
yes, that's true.
Right, and we totally agree with that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been quite in this segment because mujhe dekh ke you guys can tell that
You're
I
fit,
definitely,
mashallah.
yeah, but I don't work out in a like professional setting or whatsoever. I don't. The only workout or physical activity I do is walking from my kitchen to the fridge or my.
But you used to go for
my
yoga
room.
as well.
I used to,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
I stopped. Yes, it was boring. But the thing is, so I think my basic question is going to be for all the people out there who don't have access to gym. A lot of housewives, they still want to work out because I know after sending their kids to school, they're just, sort of copying some moves from YouTube, whatnot. So first of all, Munazza, let us know how important it is to have the right diet with the exercise. And then for people at home, what can they do with whatever gadgets, with whatever resources they have?
Shiza, what I believe is what you were talking about with Armagan as well, what kind of workout we need to do.
Yeah.
The first thing, what I believe is the pre-exercise assessment or the fitness assessment, what we used to do in our gym. When a client comes to me, I have to physically assess the client.
Okay.
We basically cater 5 fitness components.
Okay.
First is the cardiovascular system. Second is his muscle strength. Then his or her muscle endurance. Then comes the flexibility, and then comes the BMI.
Or stability.
Stability, balance, basically, and flexibility as well. Then we, according to those 5 fitness components, those are the basic general physical assessments.
Yep.
And according to that, we then keep in mind the age of the client,
Okay.
then the weight of the client, the marital status, the lifestyle he or she is having.
Why does marital status matter?
I was about to ask the same question.
Why does it matter? How is it
Because,
a factor?
The thing is, a guy or a woman married, she or he having a lot of responsibilities,
Yeah.
going to the office,
Lot of stress.
taking care of the kids, balancing the married life, the job, the everything.
Okay.
That is related to the stress as well.
Of course,
Because
of
he or she be having lesser time to focus on his or herself.
True.
Instead of focusing on his or herself, he or she will focus on the kids, on the
Family.
household things, on the family status. There is a marriage, there is kahin par death ho gayi hai, all things
Yeah,
like that.
totally.
So that will add to the stress.
And that's exactly what I said before we
Yes.
started this very segment as well, that how we really need to look after ourselves so that we, in order to look after each and everybody.
And Shiza, you were asking about me, the household ladies.
Yes.
What I prefer is that it's not necessary you're coming to the gym.
Okay.
You can stay home, you can stay fit as well. That's all about the diet. I don't believe on very expensive diets, to be very frank.
Okay. Okay.
I always guide my clients to have all those foods which they can easily afford.
Okay.
It's all about portion control. It's all about your selection. It's not about having a very expensive food. It's the selection.
All right.
You are having 2 things at the table. You have to select what to eat and what kind of quantity you have to take.
True.
Absolutely. And this is very true as well. So another funny story, if I
Yeah,
may
sure,
share
sure,
as
sure.
well.
Go ahead.
My
I was waiting
husband
for
kept
that.
asking me as well for a long time after we got married.
Yep.
What is it that you eat? How come? I mean, you're physically fit, whatnot. While there were different reasons to me being physically fit,
Yeah.
I told him, listen, can you just give me like enough freedom to give you my choice of food for at least 2 weeks, because he's really into chawal and whatever. While that is also good, I mean, but that's good once a week probably, right?
Chawal?
Chawal or
Yeah. Okay, we'll
ghee
talk about
food,
it, yeah.
yes, definitely. So my point being, and then I sort of introduced him to the food that I eat, and that was so basic. It was nothing out of a super fancy store or something. What was it? Just plain multigrain bread, maybe cucumbers on it,
Yes.
and just light food that tastes good as well and just has no effect on your tummy. That was his reaction as well. He was like, ew, I'm not going to eat
how many
cucumber on
times
it.
can you have? I know that cucumber to cut fat, cucumber is good, but how many times
But
can
it's
you have
so
it?
tasty, yeah. I literally sit and I crave salad. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could eat vegetables right
That's
now.
wonderful, which is why I want to move on to you, sir. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give out what I eat every single day,
Yeah.
just like every other Pakistani, because that's what is being cooked at my place as well. So imagine Early in the morning, earlier I used to have a brown bread, but now my mother is like, better have some chapati, and some desi ghee on it. It's a half fried egg with a small portion of curry, and that's it. So there's another roti, and then there's a cup of tea. That's it. So towards my lunch, I would make sure to have a brown bread sandwich, which I make sure that I do not get a lot of fat, and then a little bit of sweet with it as well, because I have a sweet tooth.
How little is the little bit?
I mean, the little is that, for example, if there's a 10 cookie bag, I'll eat all 10 of them. I'm not going to spare any of them unless any of my daughter rushes in and be like, hey dad, can I have some cookie? So I'll be like, sure, why not? So that's it. And number 3, obviously towards the dinner, it's again salan and roti or curry or chapati or rice or biryani or mutton, something of that sort. But when I am onto a weight loss journey, I'll make sure to just get into more barbecue stuff and avoid rice and chapati as well. So what's your take on good diet on a very generic basis as well?
See, Shirad, one size doesn't fit all. Okay, so these are the general guidelines.
Yeah.
We fitness trainers, we call ourselves fitness experts.
Yep.
So when you can't fix your carbs mechanical problem,
Yep.
so you can't even fix your physical problem without the help of an expert.
True.
So when you come to a fitness trainer and fitness expert, as she said, they assess you on the scientific data, and there are physiological and psychologically factors are involved.
Okay.
According to that, we calculate daily calories requirement.
Okay.
Yours calorie requirement are different, hers are different, because there are different age of there is a difference of age, height, weight, and the
I'm younger.
prior medical history.
Gender as well.
All right.
Right.
So after calculating that, and that's a scientific data and that's a physical education we studied, then we guide you the macros and micros. We maintain your carbs, proteins, fats, and then multivitamin you should take, and then we maintain your portions, diet portion size, and sometimes you have to fast for long, sometimes you have to take frequently meals.
True.
So it depends on the goal. If you are an athlete, I would suggest you to take meals after every 2 hours. And if you are just working in office and you have a sedentary lifestyle, or there is no heavy activity, then we will suggest you 3 meals.
Yeah.
So
because the only
it
heavy
depends.
activity I do is in the gym. That's it.
Exactly.
Nothing
According
else
to
other
the
than that.
need, according to your physical requirement, we design your exercise and diet plan.
Exactly, that's wonderful, and thank you very much for saying that, because ladies and gentlemen, imagine when you go to university or when you go to school, you obviously need a teacher to teach you a subject. So for people who think that they can watch YouTube videos and then go and work out, there might be successful.
I'm those people.
No, there might be 10% or 20% success with different people because they had a better understanding of their own physique and body.
Okay.
But with 80% of the people, we cannot do it. Rather, we end up injuring ourselves, and injuries within the gym, ladies and gentlemen, can actually bog you down quite a lot, and it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of physiotherapy, it takes a lot of massage to kind of make sure to kind of recover as well. So please make sure that you always consult a trainer in order to train yourself. May it be swimming, may it be intermittent fasting, may it be nutrition. Please make sure that you go to the
Sorry to
expert.
interrupt you, but don't try this at home. Like
Don't try.
These exercises on the YouTube and Instagram, and you get inspired from Insta bodies. So these are all being done under the supervision of the experts, the
Exactly.
qualified experts.
And just in addition to that, thank you very much for saying that, because you are fitness experts, and so far the kind of conversation we've had, I know that you are honest people. So most of the time, ladies and gentlemen, the Insta bodies, majority of them do have injections involved in them as well. So
And
please
also
make sure
lot
that
I
of
you
would like to
don't-
talk about steroids as well.
Yes.
I would
Yeah, please go ahead.
want to add. You see, there is a fake, expectations
Yes,
from
true.
when you see this Insta bodies. So there is a problem. They all are fake.
Fantasy.
Not the exact.
steroids.
We get inspired from Hollywood and Bollywood celebrities and the Insta people.
They have an entire team.
But
They have a team of
when
10
it comes to
doctors.
reality, we go to the gym day in, day out, we work hard, and after the 3 months or 6 months, we see there is no change.
True.
Then we get depressed. Why we are not being like those poster boys? So
True.
then,
But you are.
Then there is a street smart trainer who's never had any education or nutrition knowledge. So he guides you about steroids and the shortcuts.
Yeah.
Shortcuts, you are
Never
going
go
to
for
kill
that.
yourself.
And rather, yes, obviously, thank you very much for saying that. And we have had incidents over here where people were training for bodybuilding competitions, and God forbid, they actually lost their lives just because they were injecting steroids. So please make sure that you never do that. So very quickly towards the end, one last question, and that is that, obviously the population over here in Pakistan is increasing manifold. We are at a population of 220 million already. And a lot of times, this is what husbands complain to their wives, hey, you know what, you really need to control your weight. And God forbid, after giving birth to a baby child, it's really very hard or tough onto that woman to ask for that, hey, you know what, you need to reduce your weight immediately. Do we have some hacks for that as well? And what do you think those women can do who seriously do not or cannot afford to go to the gym, but their husbands demand for them to be slim?
What I believe is the housewives, what I recommend them, first they have to look after their medical conditions.
Yep.
Like what I believe is nowadays women's, like they have different kind of medical issues, especially the PCOS.
Yeah.
Have you ever
So
heard
common,
the term PCOS?
it's so common.
Too common.
Yeah.
Like what I believe is, like 5 years back, it was common in a married woman or in some kind of aged woman. But nowadays,
It's
unmarried girls,
Everyone.
very young girls, everyone is sitting.
Yep.
And what happened in PCOS is basically it's very hard to reduce weight. People don't understand that.
Okay.
When you have PCOS, you have to be very strict with your diets,
True.
with the fibers.
Exactly.
And you have to be very patient.
Yeah.
Because when you are having PCOS, you can't lose weight like a normal person.
True.
True.
Thank you very much for saying that.
My
Yeah.
2 cents on this. You said population of 220 million. 60% of people of Pakistan, they are prone to be diabetic in next 5 to 10 years.
True.
So it's a time bomb.
We are sitting on.
I am borderline diabetic,
Num-
and I know I will grow into it because it runs in my family.
At the same time, 60% of our young kids, babies, they are prone to be obese. They are obese.
They
right
are
now.
obese. They eat
So
fast food.
down the road, down the line, like 8-10 years, you need to be very vigilant on fitness regimes.
Exactly, and we really need to kind of make sure that we kind of include a discipline of activity within our kids' routine as well, which is very important. Thank you very much, Ms. Munazza, for being
So
with
we
us.
need more fitness trainers than doctors.
True.
No offense to a doctor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Armagan Khalid.
Thank
You're
you, sir.
definitely one dedicated fitness expert, and thank you very much for changing the arena of fitness industry over here in Pakistan. And wherever credit's due, we make sure that we give that credit, so credit goes out to you guys as well.
But I have to reiterate something towards the end of the segment, because our experts over here kept saying that there's no formula that fits all. So everything will depend on your individual, whatever you have in terms of your size, height, and gender and whatnot. So which is why you need an expert. And which is why I need to reiterate that we are not saying skinny is healthy, or we are not saying obese is healthy. Healthy is different for every individual. So which is why you need to go to an expert.
Exactly, which is why very quickly towards the end, I'm going to share one of my experiences. Just last night, I was having a bag of cookies. I'm sorry, I have a sweet tooth. And my wife all of a sudden asked, hey, you know what, you eat cookies every single day. Why don't you get fat? I was like, hey, you know what, probably, I just go and burn in the gym. And that's what she said, that, you know what, I'm dieting and, I'm working out, but it's not working for me. So this is where, I'm going to kind of relate to where Armagan said that, one formula will never fit all. So please make sure that you know yourself and have those eating habits where you feel more comfortable and you feel more healthier and you feel more positive. With that, ladies and gentlemen, how do we prepare for the holy month of Ramadan is something. Gigi, sure, sir. To add two things.
We are a Muslim country.
Yes,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Our religion guides about physical activity.
Absolutely.
See,
Stay fit.
Our Prophet, peace be upon him, his belly and his chest was flat. So
Yeah.
he used to walk. Walking is a sunnah.
Yeah.
So we have to follow that sunnah as well.
Absolutely.
And there was a young athlete, 14 years, the companion of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Salma bin Aku. He used to, he could run as fast as he could climb on the horse, running horse,
MashaAllah.
upon Nabi's instructions.
MashaAllah.
So you see, physical activity was guided in our religion, and we were not taken it seriously. And one last thing, Hazur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the stronger believer is better than the weaker one.
Exactly. Thank you very much for saying that, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we will take you towards the believing part of it as well, where we really need to kind of prepare for the holy month of Ramadan. How can we do it in the holy month of Shaban is the question. And we are heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with one of our most finest religious scholars over here in the country. Let's go for a break. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are watching PTV World.
Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shiza Hashmi. With me, I have Shazad Khan. And we are both, along with everyone else, so excited to be, inshallah, finally having the beautiful month of Ramadan. But how to prepare for it is what we shall be talking
Exactly.
about.
So, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we will be talking about Muqaddam-e-Jaish as well, or the early contingent, and how to prepare for the holy month of Ramadan and the holy month of Shabaan as well. And we said that we have got one of the finest religious scholars over here in the country with us. And I love him. And I love him because he's very well educated. He's a chartered accountant himself, and he's devoted, he's dedicated his life towards making sure that he's going to give us something which we will be happy with forever. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Mr. Imran Sandhu. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Subha bakhair.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
So, sir,
Take it away.
Muqaddam-e-Jaish, or the early contingent, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's get right away on that. We've got shortage of time, you know.
Like always.
Yeah, so Ramadan is actually the month of maghfirah, the month of ibadah, the month of nuzul of Quran. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually made sure that he started the practice of doing this ibadah that has to extend to the month of Ramadan from Shawban. So one of the nights that is as per the narrations by lots of Sahaba, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, and all other Sahabas like Maaz ibn Jabal, these companions of Prophet have narrated a night that ascends, where Allah ascends on the first sky, the first heaven, on the night of 15th of Shawban. There are hadiths, most of the ahadith has da'if, but the amount of ahadith that have come in the books, the overall impact of this hadith is that in Fazail, we can easily say that they get into into an authority that is qawi, right? They have become qawi because of the number of ahadith that come in. So in those ahadith, there are 4 or 5 things that we should do in Ramadan, especially on 15th of Shabaan, that is also known as Laylatul Bara'a. Bara'a actually means bari, from bari, gunahon se bari hona. So it is Laylatul Bara'a, where all your sins could be forgiven. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ascends and directly sees who is doing the ibadah, so there are 4 or 5 things you should ask from Allah.
Sir.
One is in this night, the decisions of who is going to stay alive and who is going to pass away are done. So if somebody is ill, so he can also ask for a longer life. Allahumma atil hayatana ala ta'atik wa akthir amwalana wa awladana thumma barik lana fima a'taytana aw razaqtana. Oh God, this is a dua. This is one of the very good duas that Hazrat Anas ibn Malik have taught us. So, oh God, Allahumma atil hayatana ala ta'atik. Oh God, make our lives long, but with your obedience. Wa akthir amwalana, and give us lots of rizq or barakah, and also forgive us. So this night, on the night of 15 of Sha'ban, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam once rose up at night and went to Jannatul Baqi. Jannatul Baqi is the graveyard just besides the Masjid Nabawi.
I've been there, alhamdulillah.
So Hazrat Aisha followed her. Where has he gone? She was concerned that where he has gone. So he said she found him in Jannatul Baqi, and he said that I came here to remember Allah and to remember the death. So we should also remember that we have to go past this world, from this world to another time zone, another travel that everybody has to go.
True.
So this is actually the best month to start warming up, as you were into an exercise,
How warm up is important before that.
Yeah. So it's a warm up month for Ramadan, I would say. So we should start warming up. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do fast, start practicing fasting. But the thing is, on the last day or last 2 days, one should not fast in this month. Hazrat Ali
What's
says,
the wisdom behind that, sir?
so that we can differentiate between Ramadan and Shawban.
Okay.
And a little bit of rest between two in the warm up and the actual exercise.
True.
So Hazrat Ali used to say that fast during the day and wake up during the night. Akabir and our aslaf of the Qurun Ula, they used to do tawaf, they used to go and pray whole night, used to read Quran on 15th of Sha'ban. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself used to start waking up his family members to start the night ibadah or tahajjud. So this is actually one of the things that we may want to do. We start practicing more and more ibadah so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives us, and he gives us rizq, and he gives us maghfirah, and he gives us afia from actually diseases as well.
Ameen Subhami. And sir, in those lines, what I would certainly want to talk about is that how, obviously the person who's on the giving end is always more blessed from Allah Almighty as well. And we totally do take full advantage of holy month of Ramadan as well, where we're always in practice of giving or making sure that we reach out to people and help them. So how do we kind of acclimatize to that as well, even in the month of Shaban?
Charity?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely in Ramadan, Nawafil gets a reward of Fard.
True.
And Fard gets many a times reward as compared to other months. So we want to be smart, and what people normally can do is they can wait for Ramadan and do a niyyah that I am going to give all my charity in Ramadan so that the reward can be multiplied. We should not refute from giving in other months as well, but Ramadan is a month of charity and sadaqat.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation. And inshallah, in Ramadan, we'll always have you, just like we've always have you in the holy month of Ramadan. And we have a dedicated segment, so we'll continue to learn from you. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, please look after yourselves. Make sure that you ask for your life, that you ask for your risk, that you ask for forgiveness, and that you ask for everything you want in life.
Absolutely. Anything and everything.
And that too from Allah Almighty.
Yes, that is what I was going to say. Anything and everything that you should ask should be from Allah and Allah only. And that is how you will get as well. Till the next time, take care. We'll see you Monday, same time, inshallah. And Monday, we will have a very special news for you as well. So make sure to tune in. Allah Hafiz.
Good morning.